All right, and we're back for part two of going back into the history books here of my channel, reacting to old videos from 5 years ago. So first part was the first two videos that I ever did, and now it's going to be because the first hat video was about the NBA draft hats of 2018, and I do want to also point out from that I didn't necessarily know the difference of like fitted and snapbacks exactly as like they're today are like a big deal that everyone is afraid, everyone hates snapbacks, and not everyone is cool enough to have a snapback, but that's fine. Diversity. Um, but now I'm gonna react with the actual draft that I recorded, so we'll see how that goes. So let's pull that up here. I'm not gonna watch all of it. I'll probably get into it. I do want to get to one more video in this video. Whoa, whoa.
Hello there, I'm Professor
Hi.
Hatter, and I'm making a somewhat quick draft reaction video to the
I'm gonna
NBA draft
get
from
the same
last night.
hat. Actually, I brought it up.
I made the draft hat video the other day. Go watch it. It's a little long, but go for it. Um, and I'm gonna make a reaction video now. I didn't follow too much of the scouting during the college basketball season. I watch college basketball a lot. I like it. I root for Illinois and Michigan State, and I didn't really follow throughout the season of who's going to be the draft pick here or there. I more paid attention to all that draft hype once the conference championship tournament started and
Okay.
the March Madness started. Number one pick went to DeAndre Ayton.
Called it.
He went to Phoenix, and it'll be a good fit for him, I'm sure, because number one pick, they'll always find a fit for the number one pick. But hearing all the hype on ESPN and everywhere else, Sports Illustrated, et cetera,
5 years later,
he's going to be a huge franchise player, or one of the big men from this draft, one of the tallest drafts they said in years, and Ayton will come out as one of the tallest standing left.
To Victor Wembanyama.
Duke kid Bagwell III went to the Kings. Luka Doncic went to the Hawks. That was drafted by the Hawks, and then was traded to Dallas later on. I thought Trae Young was drafted by Dallas at pick number 5, and that seemed really high. I didn't follow the scouting per se during the season of college basketball.
I would say Trae Young is
but
still
I did
top
follow
10-ish
how
material.
much of a
draft
cliff
wise.
Trae Young in Oklahoma fell off of come conference play during the regular season of college basketball, and just fell. They just were garbage after the first of the calendar year.
Yeah, I
So
remember
for Trae Young to be drafted at number 5, I wouldn't have suspected him to be a top 10 even. Lottery pick, yes. So all the Steph Curry comparisons and Trae Young having all those high numbers for points and assists, but number 5 was high. Mo Bamba went to the Magic, which is I guess a good pick. I mean, he was the next best available player in the draft at that point. I was watching the draft on my phone at my church before a band rehearsal, and the Bulls were up for their pick. And all I was hoping was, don't F up like you did last year with the whole trade of Jimmy Butler to Minnesota for
Now he's
at the
now
time we thought
Jimmy
nothing.
has
And
2 finals
it kind of
appearances.
panned out to be decent, but it was still a huge debacle, huge mess that Garpax, the 2 owners, made.
General managers.
And when Adam Silver came up to the podium, he said, "Oh, we have a early trade to announce."
We got Lowry
And I
Markkinen
thought,
out of that.
I hope the Bulls didn't F up again this year.
And
And
we
they
pushed him
mentioned
out.
Luka Doncic at first. I'm like, oh, did we get him? Did we pick up Doncic? That'd be a pretty good pickup. But then they said, Adam Silver said Doncic was traded to the Duke. Carter Jr., power
Ooh.
forward / center out of Duke. So that was a pretty good pickup, actually. Another big man, tall guy coming from the draft.
Yeah. Nice.
If the Magic hadn't picked Mo Bamba, then the Bulls should have taken.
I have no
Mo
idea what
Bamba.
that's.
But Wendell Carter Jr. was the next available tall man.
I'm sure I have a copyright
Kind of
strike
going through the rest of
because
the
of
draft
showing
briefly.
or a
The Nuggets
claim
had a
with all these
risky pick
videos being played, but
by taking
I
Michael
don't
Porter
care.
Jr. from Missouri. It's a good pick, even with the back injuries. Those players who are injury prone are the risks. But Denver took a good risk. I like Denver a bit. I'm a Denver Broncos fan, and when I played Park District basketball in 2nd and 3rd grade, I played for the Nuggets, so I kind of like the Nuggets a bit. So it was good for them. Glad that they had a nice.
He's doing good for them. I mean, they're in the
risky
finals. I mean,
pick,
because of
but I think it'll pay off.
because it did. 'Cause, I mean, mainly because of Jokic, but he's
So I
a
tweeted out
presence
to
on.
Utah.
He's a Porter Jr. But yeah, that was a big risk. I remember with the back injuries being prone for him, but it worked out, especially in the last few seasons, really last 2, especially this year. But yeah, kind of I mean, we'll go through a few more of this with 5 years later. It's kind of a good way to see how these picks have panned out.
Utah Jazz, a few hours before the draft,
Hated this one.
saying, "Do not draft Grayson Allen. Whatever you do not draft Grayson Allen. He is a trash player.
Take Miles.
I don't want him. Take a small forward if you need to."
Hold on.
So then I'm sitting in band at church, and I have my iPad on the music stand with my music, and my phone on the other next to it, and I'm playing, looking back and forth.
Yeah,
My trombone, looking back and
I
forth.
said to
music,
pick Miles
rap,
Bridges, but
music,
he's the one that got
rap.
arrested.
And I see the Utah Jazz are on the clock. I'm like, okay. At that point, I realized Ford Williamson kid, or the power forward out of Texas A&M, was going to be a good pick. So I'm playing, and the clock goes to 0. I'm just waiting, and
with the 21st pick in the 2018 NBA
Crap.
draft, the Utah Jazz select Grayson Allen from
Damn
Duke
it.
University.
They didn't listen. No one ever listens to me.
it says Grayson Allen, and I'm like, I'm shaking. I'm like, don't yell. It's like, you guys didn't listen. No one listens to me. What a shame. What a shame. I mean, Grayson Allen is a good player on the court. His numbers are good. His sophomore season, it was one of the best seasons he had, and then it kind of deteriorated from there. But for a Duke kid to stay around for 4 years, that's pretty impressive.
He's an old man.
It's just that his sportsmanship of tripping players and then playing I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm not guilty. That act.
I miss
bode well,
Donovan
and
Mitchell.
really want him to be suspended for more games than he wasn't. Speaking of 4, and he wasn't.
Hold on, I'm looking at the background of the last 4 picks. Kevin Huerter, and then Lonnie Walker the fourth on the top there. Didn't realize Lonnie Walker had been there for that long, actually. Nor Herter. Both are still with the team. Those the Spurs and the Hawks there. That Timberwolves pick, no idea.
Suspended for Grayson Allen.
Oh, Mitt Romney, throwback there.
My 4 expectations for Grayson Allen are to, 1, try to be a bit cocky at first in the first.
So, what actually happened was he barely played for the Jazz at the NBA level. He played a lot of G League for them. And Grayson Allen, eventually found his way to the Bucks. I feel like he was with another team in the meantime, but let me double check that. I know that he's been on the Bucks because he was very annoying in a previous Bulls Bucks series when the Bulls were in the playoffs, which you didn't really realize. Oh, he was on the Grizzlies for 2 seasons, it looks like. So yeah, he's been a bit of a flush. Produces a little bit, but
few games of the season.
Let's see.
Probably gonna get for about. Grayson Allen will take up that great numbers. In Philly, got drafted by the 76ers.
Oh.
How Lakers got a big man, Mo Wagner. I felt bad for Mikal Bridges, whose mom works for the 76ers. He lives in Philly. Went to Villanova in Philly, got drafted by the 76ers, and then got traded to the Suns. It's a good pickup for the Suns. Suns ultimately won the draft, I think. But I kind of feel bad for Bridges. Kind of that betrayal. The process sometimes is ruthless. Hilarious how Lonnie Walker of Miami, great player. His hat wouldn't fit on his big hair that he had going, his big hairdo. Kind of funny. Maybe the NBA will have to adopt visors for the next draft hat collection. And of course, New York fans had to boo the selection. Controversy debate between picking Porter Jr. or Knox. Porter Jr. was the better selection or better option with talent, but he had that injury proneness to him.
Yeah, I'm looking up at the 20. I'm sorry,
bode well.
18
Knicks
draft,
or
turned out here.
Of course, subscribe.
So yeah, Mo Bamba is still with the Magic. I'm looking through the list here. Marvin Bagwell, he is with the Pistons now. So a lot of teams kind of kept, or a lot of players are still with their original teams, at least in the top 10-ish, maybe 15. Wow. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's on the Thunder now. He was drafted in this. Fuck! Wow, he was drafted 5 years ago. Was on the Clippers, but drafted by the Hornets, but traded right to the Clippers. But he played for Kentucky. He is leading the Thunder to a NBA championship in 2025 or 2026. I don't remember what year, but surprising. So kind of like that video there. So that's kind of the reaction. Doing my sports analysis there. Again, I was still not a huge NBA person like some people are. I do admit that. But let me go to. It's just surprising how much detail I gave. So let's go to one more video in this video here. Talking about the NHL. Actually, we'll do 2 more. Talking about the NHL 2018 draft hats. So
Hello, everyone.
I'm Jeffrey. I'm Professor Hatter, and today I'm going to be making a video about the NHL draft hats of 2018. I did a video about the NBA draft hats, and today is the NHL draft, and I kind of forgot about it, which is bad on my end.
Yeah, it is.
But want to give a little time to go over the NHL draft a bit as well. Wearing my Blackhawks hat, they have the.
Don't worry, I'm looking it up on
seventh,
how
eighth
it turned
pick,
out.
actually eighth pick because they dropped. They were supposed to have the 7th pick, but they dropped. The luck of Chicago, I guess. So
The luck of Chicago before getting Connor Bedard. Let's go.
let's get going.
Yeah, let's get going. I use this intro to go along with Northern Lights background.
Welcome to the handy dandy Professor Computer.
The handy dandy Professor Hatter computer in the NPR Garrison Keeler talking voice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Professor Hatter reacts to Professor Hatter. So in this history here, this is when Fanatics took over the NHL and made it into crap. So you're gonna see a lot of Fanatics, which is still cringy.
If you see a yellow circle around the cursor, I'm sorry if it gets annoying. I'll try to find a way to edit that out or get a new
Post.
recording software.
Post.
And sorry about any background noise. So the draft hats are simple. They're by Fanatics, which is a store you can actually buy hats and other apparel from. Simple. They're by Fanatics, which is a store you can actually buy hats and other apparel from.
Yeah, just kind of hilarious to like laugh at young Professor Hatter here of 5 years ago. Like, oh, have you heard of this place called Fanatics? It's going to fuck over the sports world.
So it's kind of weird to see how Fanatics, a store, is getting involved with hat designing. Now, Fanatics also has the design.
This is cringe.
The
Sorry, this is cringe of me being such a rookie at this, and then cringe of what 5 years has become of Fanatics and how it's just so hated, how they've ruined so much.
Conference and Stanley Cup champion hats from this past Stanley Cup season.
This is when the Golden
So,
Knights
they're pretty simple hats.
went
You
to
have
the Cup finals,
team name.
but didn't win.
You have the
Hopefully they'll
logo,
win this year. We got the Panthers.
kind of athletic mesh circle dot logo design, and then the basic hat around it. So I mean, pretty simple, not much to the hat, but I like the little part of how it has the town on the brim. The hats are fitted, adjustable, stretch fitted, really. Go Blackhawks, screw the Blues.
Yeah.
And otherwise, they're also adjustable hats. So while I go through the hats here, I'll
A shorter-ish
talk a
video,
bit
I
about
guess.
the draft.
Hey, there's no Kraken hat.
Buffalo Sabres
What?
have the first pick, and they're probably going to be taking this defenseman from Sweden, Rasmus
Switching hats here.
Dahlin. I'm just going to say their first names and where they're from as much as best I can. A lot of these European names are complicated.
They are. They still are.
By the way, Dallas is hosting the draft. Chicago hosted last year. Carolina is next. Then the Canadiens, Senators. Then Coyotes, Red Wings, Vancouver, Blackhawks, Rangers, and then Oilers.
Hold on.
For me, as a Blackhawks fan, I really want to see the Blackhawks either get a defenseman or a goalie because the defense has been lackluster.
We did get a
Duncan
defenseman.
Keith has been Goalies really
okay.
don't get drafted that high.
And Seabrook has been just downhill. He hasn't produced as well as
Yep.
he should have been by now. He has a nice, hefty contract for a defenseman, but isn't delivering. And it's kind of hard to trade that kind of hefty load with low quality
Hefty
of work behind
contract.
him.
Wimpy
But in the
results.
Mock draft I'm looking at in Sportsnet, they predict Quinn Hughes of defenseman, University of Michigan, will be selected. I don't really follow the
So actually, Quinn Hughes, I'm looking at the draft. He got drafted by Vancouver before the Hawks. The Hawks got Adam Boquist from Sweden, and actually Boquist then got traded to Columbus for Seth Jones, which is about 2 years since that trade, and we still are wondering why.
NHL draft as much as it should be, but again, a defenseman or a goalie because Crawford is
Hold on.
really
at
on his
some of
way
the-
out, and
Where I just saw.
we need a backup or a new starting goalie to be groomed by him because he had
Ooh, Skip
severe
Johansson was in
surgical
this draft.
problems last season, and it really affected the Hawks. I mean, we were kind of teetering between subpar and good enough, and then once he got injured,
And now we're
took the
just
rest of the
crap.
Season off, we just plummeted after that. It was kind of a make or break.
Oh, we plummeted even further than that, Sonny.
Side note, I like PK Subban being on the cover of EA NHL 19,
Oh, that's old.
but
Was-
being in a piss yellow Nashville Predators jersey, I don't know, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, he was better on the Canadians.
That is last year's.
Yeah, the draft hats from 2017, I would like to find again because that was a cooler design with the jersey style incorporated instead of being like generic. I understand for like a draft, you kind of got to keep it generic as best you can, but this like same idea, like how they had for the NFL a few years ago, like a gray hat, heather gray. Brim was a team color, but then the front was like for the Bears, it was Monsters of the Midway, Packers, Go Pack Go, Broncos Country, JETS, Jets. It was like a moniker for the team, so that was a individual touch. So like this 2017 hat was.
Just going through a few of the other.
So it's the 2018 draft.
Here. See if you can find your favorite team.
Hurricanes
Comment
won.
below your favorite team.
They got Svechnikov.
Who your team's gonna pick and all that. Looking at the Blues, hopefully
With how he's been producing.
the Blue Jackets will trade Artemi Panarin with the Blackhawks. Hopefully we can get him back.
He never came back.
And
He never came back.
actually be contenders again.
No.
Senators are probably going to be trading away Carlson
Yep.
during the draft. I'm going to assume.
Yep.
I'm sure that they'll offload him during the draft.
To the Sharks.
Make it easier,
It's been
I guess, for
it's been a
trade picks.
confuzzled. Yeah, for the hockey people out there, Erik Karlsson being traded to the San Jose Sharks, it can be disputed on who won that trade. It's kind of a toss-up of how unproducing Karlsson was for a lot of time initially with the Sharks, but then in the last season and a half, he's kind of turned around. It's still disputed, I guess.
But Vegas does not have a pick in the first round. They traded away their first round pick for this year to Red Wings and had a lot of success.
Oh yeah,
from that trade.
yeah,
So I'm
Vegas did
sure
find it.
they're okay taking a first round buy in the draft.
Yeah. They especially with how the last 5 years have gone for both teams.
Okay, thank you again for watching the NHL.
Oh my god. That's in my basement. Having that background of the hats on the clothesline.
Draft hat review. Hopefully the Hawks have a good draft, and Vegas gets a few more pieces to extend their campaign of winning a Stanley Cup. And like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hats off to you for watching.
Okay, so there it is. I think it's funny, like how soft spoken I am in some of these videos. That I'm like a little bit more shy on camera or a little kind of toned down compared to now. But I mean that's the progress. And I'll in the next part I'll see more of me, being I guess timidish, like soft spoken. Again, that NPR Garrison Keeler kind of speaking voice. Thank you for watching. I am Professor Hatter, and but yeah, it's just kind of it's entertaining to see the starting points of all of this stuff and the early goings. Seeing the background with the hats and the on the clothesline that we use for drawing. It's just cool. It's just fun to see all this stuff. So I look forward to the next part. I might do one or two more parts. There'll be like compilations of like not like watching it all the way through like these other two parts were, but just like shortcuts, compilation highlights of some of the other videos because there are some other early videos where I showed like the hats that I've actually bought. So these videos so far, I only talk about hats that I don't have, which I guess is a big deal for some people that you have to show hats that you have for your hat channel on YouTube. But no, but this was a good start. So thank you for watching. As always, hats off to you for watching. I'll see you next time in class, everyone. Class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.